Hey you guys, it's Megan. So, to be honest, there have just been some really crappy things happening. If you don't know, we are in the process of selling our house and everything was going great. We got an offer, we accepted the offer, we got the inspection came back perfect. There was nothing that needed to be fixed. And then the appraisal came along, and the guy who came out and did it was really nice, and I had really high hopes because other things in this neighborhood were selling for higher prices, and so far everything had been going great. And then he did his report and the appraisal came back low, which if you're a seller, that is a bad thing because the lender is not going to lend more than what the appraiser says it's worth, unless the buyer wants to come out of pocket for that difference, which no one does, and there's no reason to because it's already been proven that it's not worth that. So we had to lower the price on our house and still cover some of the buyer's closing costs for them, since that was something we had initially agreed upon because they had offered us more than our listing price. Basically, we're making a smaller profit than we thought we would be making by several $1,000s. So that is setback number one. Setback number two is that we are looking at houses in Texas because we will be moving down there next month. And what I didn't realize and what my husband didn't realize is that property taxes are very expensive in Texas because that's how they fund their public school system. Being here in the Seattle area, I thought that our property taxes were high considering the area that we are in. But basically every single county in Texas is over 2% for property taxes. What that equates to is about $7,000 or $8,000 a year in property taxes, which is like $600-700 on top of your mortgage payment. Here, our property taxes are about $300 a month, and I expected it to be about the same or less in Texas, but actually it's going to be double. So what that means for us is that this budget that we originally had is now gonna have to be cut significantly, like almost $100,000, because we have to factor in the amount of property taxes that are going to be charged each month. We had this envision in our mind of what we could afford and the area we could live in, and now basically we can afford an old 1980s house in the area that we'd like to be in that needs a lot of cosmetic updates and repairs. And coming from here, you know, this house was built in 2014. It has the granite countertops, the nice cabinetry, like everything's nice and new and fresh. So we've kind of become accustomed to living in something like this. And then having to kind of reevaluate your budget and say, you know, we can't afford to live in something like this in Texas. We're gonna have to buy something older that needs repairs. I'm taken back a little bit. Obviously, that's first world problems. Like, there's people who don't even have houses, but I mean, that's the reality of it. We're gonna have to find something older that needs repairs if we want to buy a house in Texas. Kind of just complaining at this point, but it's just like another thing kind of on top of the camel's back. You know, the saying about the straw that broke the camel's back is kind of like that, because first problem was the house here, it not appraising for the right price and having to take a several $1,000s cut on our profit, and then finding out that we're going to be moving across the country, and instead of living in a nicer house like this, or even better, we're going to have to find something older that needs work. So that is what is going on right now. It's upsetting. I don't really know what to do at this point, but I'm just hoping things get better because it's really frustrating and there's really nothing we can do about it. There's no way to make the property taxes less there. They have recently passed some legislation to help lower the property taxes, but I've already looked at some articles for that, and it's only going to lower the property taxes by like, I think an average of $50 a month for most people. It's nothing significant, like several $100s. And it's not that I'm afraid of taking on a house that needs some renovations. In fact, our investment property in Alaska, we actually renovated the kitchen and the bathrooms and did new flooring, but it's a little bit different now having 2 kids and a much older house and possibly bigger renovations. You know, that condo is only like 900 square feet, And the houses that we're looking at are over 2,000 square feet. That's going to be a big project to renovate a much bigger kitchen, possibly having to update flooring and scrape off popcorn ceiling, and just like tons of things on a much bigger scale than what we're used to. On a positive note, my husband comes back the end of this month. I have not seen him since April 5th. I have been continuing to work on my eating and exercise habits, and I guess that's about the only good stuff happening right now. Anyways, leave me a comment down below. Hopefully you guys are having a much better couple weeks than I am. And again, thank you for watching and supporting me on this journey.